Hello everybody, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel with some breaking news coming from the Middle East. The Israeli Defense Forces have finally started their ground invasion of Gaza and have successfully taken over the Gaza Strip. We're going to give you guys the details of what's going on there. And the Islamists have lost yet another senior leader, and the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, has sent a massive warning to the Houthis and the Islamic Republic of Iran. He's given them a bit of a deadline, and of course the Houthis continue to get pounded by the US Air Force. It is all kicking off. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give you guys the update. Let's get your reaction in the comment section and in the live chat as usual. First things first, the Israeli Defense Forces finally entered Gaza after a bit of pause, obviously, over the last few weeks, couple of months. They have managed to recapture the Netzarim corridor as part of the targeted ground activities. They are saying that the IDF is expanding a security zone between northern and southern Gaza, similar to what we had a year ago. This is going to be bringing back status quo, and by status quo we mean everything that happened since October the 7th. And meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, after this live stream we're going to come back because there's breaking news coming from Turkey. Yes, uprising in Ankara and other cities in Turkey against Erdogan's dictatorship. We're going to talk about that as well, so stay tuned. It's all happening tonight. All right, so we had the international spokesman for the IDF, Shoshani, saying that the IDF struck dozens of terror targets and terrorists in Gaza. That includes Hamas commanders, to weaken their military and governmental capabilities and remove threats to Israel. This includes Yasser Mohammed Harb Musa, who is a senior operative responsible for security affairs in the political bureau and for directing the activities. He has been eliminated. He was closely linked to Yahya Sinwar. Mohammed, there's another Mohammed, they're all Mohammed. Mohammed al-Jamasi, head of Hamas's emergency committee. Yep, they literally had an emergency committee. I mean, their whole life is basically based on emergency, but they needed a committee to sort out emergencies. He was also eliminated. He played a key role in the leadership and directed operations during the conflict. The IDF will continue to operate against Hamas and remove threats to Israel and its citizens. So, there's a video which we're going to show you as well in a minute, which is about what's been going on today on the ground in Gaza by the IDF. But to explain exactly what they're doing in terms of the security zone, splitting the north and the south, this is what you have. So on the top, in the northern part, you got the Netzarim corridor, which is near Gaza city itself. That's the line. That's essentially the line that they've formed. And of course, on the southern side, the Philadelphia corridor, which is the border between Gaza and Egypt near Rafah. So this is the idea, to ensure that there is no regrouping by the smelly, beardy weirdies of Gaza. Now, these guys, who must be boiling right now because they're still covering their faces and the temperature is increasing in Gaza. It's very hot down there right now if you're covering your face, but these guys really care about public health and COVID, so they have to cover their faces. They have released a statement, ladies and gentlemen. Be terrified. Be absolutely terrified. Hamas and the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. They have released a statement saying that we declare a unified effort against the Zionist aggression. The official, Ali Baraka, met with the other leaders, Abu Imad Ramaz and Abu Kifta Ghazi, to discuss recent developments. They condemned the Israeli strikes in Gaza, and they have accused Israel of violating the ceasefire agreement, even though Gaza violated it first. They urged the mediators and the international community to put pressure on Israel to stop the conflict because, let's not forget, Hamas are the victims here, ladies and gentlemen. You remember 2 weeks ago, during the ceasefire, they were celebrating, oh, this is victory for Gaza. Now they are crying once again. They are forever the victims. So, as we heard from Muhammad and Abu, the other Muhammad, and the other Abu, and the third Abu and the fourth Muhammad. All of these guys are saying that they need the support of the international community. You must pay them the respect that they deserve, because they are working very hard when it comes to playing the victim card, as we said. So all this is going on. As we said, the idea is that by constructing the barriers on the selections of the Salah al-Din highway, the whole thing is now under control. And they are also restricting further movement by Hamas between northern and southern Gaza. And as I said, and I promised, that we have a video released by the Israeli Defense Forces exactly showing the activities that they've been doing today towards the northern part of Gaza. So they're doing that. Obviously, we have heard from Mohammed and Abu, but we haven't heard from Abdul and Ahmed, but we will eventually. Now, meanwhile, the operation, when it comes to the IDF itself, the elements of the 1st Golani Brigade have now been redeployed to the border areas in southern Gaza as well. This is in preparation for future military actions against the Islamists, and also not just Hamas, but the other groups, including the Islamic Jihad. And again, this is one of those moments where the mainstream media don't really pay attention. We have to actually give credit to all the other Islamist minion groups, because all the attention goes on to Hamas. Let's not forget, there are other hard-working terrorists, including the Islamic Jihad. You have to give them the attention that they deserve. So it's not just Hamas who's been targeted. The others, and the other, basically, you've got the Hamas side, which is more like a mainstream party. Then you got the little ones, which is more like the Lib Dems and the Green Party. And they also need the attention. So we have to talk about them and their leaders who are also being eliminated. Oopsie. This is what happens. When you ask for attention, you're going to find out. So let's talk about firstly Hamas, because the list continues to grow. These are the senior leaders. Some of them we reported yesterday. But today, obviously, this is the updated list, essentially. We have a situation where 2 senior Hamas officials today have been eliminated on top of the others. One of them is Yasser Mahmoud. Not Mahmoud, that's very incorrect. Yasser Mohammed Harb Musa. He was the political bureau idiot who was close to Yahya Sinwar. The other Mohammed, who's Jamasi, who was the head of emergency committee. We've already covered him as well. On top of those, we've got the others. We've got Ahmed, Bajad, the other Muhammad, Essam, and Mahmoud. Yes, there was in fact one Mahmoud, which I forgot, obviously. It's difficult to keep an eye on these guys. Come up with some original names. Like the other one. That was nice. He had a different name. Bahajat, whatever it was. Now, one of these guys, we have to talk about them, because this is Hassan Al-Naim Abu Ali. We have to give attention to these guys. This man is not Hamas. Oh, we found another one. He is not Hamas. Oh, by the way, he's been eliminated, so he's now with his 72 virgin goats. But he's from the Islamic Jihad. Yes. Hassan al-Naim, or his nickname is Abu Ali. Even when they have a different name, they have to go with Abu anyway. He is the head of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad in terms of the rocket unit. He has been taken out by the Israeli Air Force in Khan Yunis. So he has finally achieved his dream of becoming a martyr, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens again. Meanwhile, the other areas in the whole wider region is still going boom boom, including Yemen, because President Trump is extremely serious about his operation against the Houthis. First, he warned them. They said no. He bombed them. They said no. He sent the Air Force more to wipe them out. They said no. Tonight, as we speak, the United States Air Force are fully eliminating the Houthis in Yemen, and President Trump has released a statement saying the Houthis will be annihilated. And this is a direct warning and threat towards the Islamic Republic of Iran, because the president has sent out another letter. There's a lot of love letters being sent out by the White House to Tehran. The first one apparently wasn't received. Literally, the Iranian regime said, we haven't actually received the letter. Then we discovered, clearly there's a problem with the postal service in Iran. I think it's the same people who've been running the US postal service, the Irish. It's always the Irish. Blame the Irish. Anyway, President Trump is sending a massive statement saying, the reports are coming in that while Iran has lessened its intensity on military equipment and general support to the Houthis, they are still sending large levels of supplies. Iran must stop the sending of these supplies immediately. Let the Houthis fight it out themselves. Either way, they lose. But this way, they lose quickly. Tremendous damage has been inflicted upon the Houthi barbarians. And watch how it will get progressively worse. It's not even a fair fight, and never will be. They will be completely annihilated. I love how President Trump is not even pretending to just that this is some sort of equal fight. It's like, this is not fair, guys. We're going to come for you guys. Houthis will be annihilated if they continue. And let's not forget, the Houthis have once again targeted Israel. Bad news. They missed the target. Again. Yeah, a few days ago when they tried to hit the Jews, accidentally they hit the Egyptians. This time they hit the water. Not really sure how. Just aim properly. They just can't. They really can't. And you only have one group to blame. The Iranian regime. These guys are supposed to be the pros. You are the masters of your proxies. Come on, guys. Teach them how to aim. President Donald J. Trump has now sent a letter again to the supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei. And this time he set out a 2-month deadline for securing a new nuclear deal. The Iranian regime have responded already that we are not going to be negotiating with the Donald. There's a 2-month deadline. Don't F around, because you will find out. Now, President Trump is under pressure because President Trump doesn't like wars. He doesn't like conflicts. But he doesn't like to be humiliated by the enemy. If the Iranian regime don't meet the 2-month deadline, President Trump will be forced to do something drastic. Which, by the way, is common sense as an approach. If the enemy is taunting you, you go and wipe them out. Now, they don't have to do that. But the president could put more pressure on the Iranian regime because he hasn't actually said what he will do after 2 months, leaving in kind of like an open letter sort of thing. So if he had said, we will come and destroy you, the Iranian regime would have probably called a bluff, right? He's kind of kept it vague. So the Iranian regime would say, well, what if he actually means it, right? Meanwhile, the Islamic Republic, with the help of the Houthis and all the others, have been too busy. They are busy not preparing for actual conflict. They are busy editing videos. Yeah, they spend more time editing videos. They create propaganda videos, this time threatening Israel and the United States of America. This is literally spending so much time on these little propaganda clips. So this is what they've created now. I don't know why they're still wearing face nappies, because it's 2025, not 2020. COVID is gone. But yeah, they're in the tunnels with their little rockets. And Khamenei wants to be their new rocket man. Nobody cares about him. He just wants some attention. And I'm pretty sure some of these equipments, most of them are not actually going to be activated because they're not very good at creating things. A lot of the Iranian drones that were sent to Russia completely failed. And the rest of them were just weak drones that were shot down easily by the other side. But they can make good videos. You know, look at this. This is nice. Good angle. Great editing, although they're wasting so much money on just launching rockets. I don't know where they're launching it towards. It's not going anywhere. It's a test bloody launch. They're just hitting their own random mountains. They're probably even, some of them are AI. So I don't really believe that these guys are actually competent to do anything. But the problem with this video is that there are too many rockets. It's just too many. By the way, they're the same rockets. It's just camera angle. They put different camera angles to make you scared that they got too many rockets. They don't. It's the same 4 rockets, just using different camera angles. They need to move on to different clips and scenes. Show the Supreme Leader. Show him being confident, being reserved. Nope. There we go. They hit the target. They probably destroyed one of their own villages. Look at that. What are they doing? So that's the propaganda video from the Iranian regime in which they basically decided to hit their own people. And the Houthis are also playing a role in this, even though the Iranian regime are saying, yeah, we're not actually helping the Houthis, but we are, but you have no evidence, but we will destroy you. Essentially a massively bipolar condition right now inside the Islamic Republic. That's that. But as we said, the uprising has started suddenly in the middle of Turkey against Erdogan and his Islamist regime as well, which we have to bring you guys that update as well. Let's get some reaction first. Ricardo, thank you very much for your super chat. And Nina is back saying, hi, my lovely. Hello, Nina. Yes, they claimed victory killing babies. Then when something happens to them, they cry like they are the victims. Thing is, it still works for the supporters of the Islamist cause, because we got enough idiots in the West, the Western middle class leftists, champagne socialists, limousine liberals who are supporting it because they love victimhood. They love the whole oppressor and the oppressed narrative. Right. What is happening here? Ooh, we've got what is this? Matt X says Palestinian flag in unity with the rainbow flag. That rainbow flag looks weird. That's not the original, is it? I'm not really an expert in rainbow flags, but yeah, that looks a little bit off. Maybe they got mixed with the Gazans. AFC Manny K says that even the Middle East has had enough of Islamists. About time we in the West rose up too. No, you're not allowed to, because Keir Starmer will send you to jail. There are some updates actually coming in from the desert land. Oh yes, it's all okay. So the protests in Turkey have now reached Istanbul. This is going to be beautiful. So stay tuned, because we're going to give you guys the full detail about what's going on in Turkey. I still refuse to call it Turkey. I still call it Turkey. I don't care what Erdogan says. And we have some great, beautiful people from Greece in the live chat. Hello, Greece, the superior land. All right. So what is this? Lee says, did somebody say Islam is the book of the devil, the book of total destruction? To non-believers, they are barbaric medieval ideology. It's not even medieval, it's pre-medieval. And where the devil books goes will always follow is 100% correct. Thanks for that. Now we're cancelled. Islamic version of heaven is all you need to know what they are. They fight and die for big-breasted... big-breasted virgins. Yeah, we did discuss this last night, actually. The obsession with sex, basically, and suddenly getting drunk. I don't know why. The reward of not drinking alcohol in this life is getting alcohol in the afterlife. It's like somebody going to rehab as an alcoholic, saying it's okay, your reward, if you pass this, we're going to give you alcohol. Why? Justice Warrior says, love that for the Islamic radicals. Live and learn. You are weak. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. We have a couple of super chats I've missed. Apologies for being extremely rude. Stu says, power videos made with AI. Abu's imagination. You're going to get accused by Reform UK of being overly racist. According to Reform UK's leader, Nigel Farage, there are some people who are racist and there are some people who are overly racist. I'm not really sure how you can be overly racist. What's the version of moderate racism? Can we be moderately racist? Nigel Farage says sometimes you are overly racist if you criticize his chairman, Mohammed Ziauddin Yusuf. Jim says, thanks again for doing God's work. Thank you so much, Jim from America. Blackfish Blues says that the West looks to Israel to save it. Alas, they don't have the guts or the brains to say it. Hi, Greece. Yep, I agree. What is going on? We're still getting, I'm literally getting more updates from Turkey. I might have to like swiftly do a transition into, not like that, transition as in the video report into Turkey. I'm not transitioning, don't worry. Shark says they are going to be shipped to Burma, Sudan, and Africa. Who? The Turkish? Yeah, I think you're talking about the Gazans, right? Probably. Someone says, you Jew lovers make me sick, with a laughing emoji. Unless this is a joke, this is yet another example of bipolar behavior. David says, overly racist for being white. Yeah, stop being white, right? It's your fault for being white. Jawad Habib says, woof, woof, your English leash holder telling you about cry. Ask English if you be anti-human. Do you understand any other language? Imagine still talking Aske, the immigration still getting robbed. Can I have my... Woof woof from Jabhat. That's a summary. I tried. I don't know how to read this. I think there's something about the English language, which kind of ironic, but woof woof, guys, woof woof. All right. Do we have any sane people in the live chat? All right. Where are we? Another one saying a pro-Hamas protest in front of Trump Tower in New York City today. It's just like another Wednesday, isn't it? It's a bunch of idiots. New York needs to man up. All right. Where's that Jawad guy? Oh, what's this one? Israelis have no culture. Only a few thousand years of culture, but yeah. Their real nature is that they are gypsies from scattered Europe. What are you going to say about all the Moroccan Jews? Yeah, Morocco is not in Europe, by the way, and all the other Jews from literally across the world. You do realize why you call them gypsies? Because they were forced to leave their homeland. They were one of the first kingdoms. They literally had a kingdom. They literally had a civilization. They literally had one of the earliest cultures. And apparently... Israelis don't have a culture. Okay. If you say so. That's a good comment. Why don't people proofread their comments? I don't think they can. I don't think they know what the definition of proofreading is. Right. Somebody says... Jacob King says, when you die, where will you go? Pray, Jesus, forgive me of my sin. Save me, be my Lord and my Savior. You have come in the flesh, died and risen for me. Jesus is my Lord. Amen. Amen. Thank you. These weirdos were super silent when Syria's Alawites got massacred. But when Gaza got lit up again, they cry hard. Selective humanity support from these weirdos. Also, they didn't care to this day about what's happening in Yemen. I love how no one cares about Yemen. They got innocent Yemenis who are getting killed on a regular basis by the Houthis and the Iranian regime. Nope, nobody cares. They don't care about, obviously, the Christians in Congo or Nigeria or other places. Or let's not forget about the Hindus who continue to get attacked in Bangladesh and other places. What? Oh no, I had a good troll in the comment section. The problem is you guys are leaving so many comments, it's difficult to scroll up and down. You know, I'm good at multitasking, but not that good. Blackfish Blues, no Jews, no news. Yes. There used to be about 850,000 that lived in the Arab land in the early 1950s. Iraq at the time had 130,000. I think you mean the Jews, right? Yeah, Jews, yeah. Ooh, yes. I found him, ladies and gentlemen. I found him. Although this comment is not really that fun. Here's one of the trolls that we like. What is it saying? The land belonged to the dinosaurs. Technically, all lands belonged to the dinosaurs because they were just hanging around. Although most of them were homeless, so they were just walking around like idiots until they died. All right. They don't really care about Gaza either, really, Maya. They only care about hating Jews. Oh, absolutely spot on. That's one of the things that's been quite evident, because none of these people, especially the so-called Westerners, left-wingers who protest on a regular basis, they walk around with their keffiyeh. Where was your keffiyeh 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago? But even those who've been fighting against the Israelis since the 40s, right? They never cared about Gaza or Palestinians in general. They just want to hate the Jews. Because they don't actually care about what happens to ordinary people in the Arab world. There are people who are being oppressed in the other Arab countries and have in the past. Even in Qatar, oh, the rich, nice-looking Qatar, you don't actually have freedoms. Ordinary people, you can't be gay. They'll do things to you if you're gay. Although you might enjoy it, but they'll do naughty things. But no, these people don't care. Absolutely not. Forever the victims, right? Missed a couple of super chats again. Thank you. Paliosaurus said Rex came before Adam and Eve. Paliosaurus. And Paliosaurus created Pallywood as well. Natalie from Canada says, I'm excited to hear from the Palestinians who hate the Hamas holes. How did I not come out with that one? Hamas holes. That's a good one. Well done, Natalie. I'm guessing you stole that from somebody else on social media, right? Maya, sorry if the spelling is wrong. Actually, that's correct. Yes. Also, I just realized, because obviously since we rebranded the channel a few months ago to 2C TV, not many people know how to spell my name, because I say I'm Maya 2C. They're like, Maya he? Maya who? Maya haha? That's why every now and then I put it on the screen like this. See? Slick. Just in case, if you're a new viewer. Anyway, deep breath, my friend, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. He says, not a single Muslim, Arab or Muslim Slim set foot in Israel until 632 CE, while Jews have been there for more than 3,000 years. Yeah, but Muhammad claimed he was there, so they had to go. That's how it started. By the way, he wasn't there, but they claim he was there. He also went to the moon, where he didn't. Stu says they stole the keffiyeh from Iraq. Culture, my knob. I think you mean noob. What is this? Ray Jones says, someone please, even Mr. Trump, help the UK. We have been betrayed and crucified by the Prophet Starmer Muhammad. They are traitors to the British people and the British way of life. Imagine the irony of the British people being liberated by America after a few hundred years of liberation for the Americans from the Brits. All right. Yes, Joe just says the big bro is in the chat. Yeah, I know. Where is he now? Has he commented again? I need to find this guy. He's kind of funny sometimes. I mean, he's nonsensical, but he's funny. Where is he? All right, let's find him. Oh, found him. Found him. Lost him. It's coming. Hang on. I literally saw him. No, it's gone. All right, let's just see if anything else comes up. Jamie says, sorry if I'm offensive. That usually is followed by something offensive. But I prefer to listen to you with your reporting and expert knowledge rather than reiterating the live chat. Sorry, the first part of the live report is the report, and obviously this is the only leading interactive live show that we have when it comes to geopolitical news. So we actually respond to your views, and obviously the trolls. Don't forget about the trolls. Anyway, The only thing these Arab countries have in common is their discontent and hate towards the Jews. But in reality, the moment they forget that part, for whatever reason, they start fighting each other. This is the whole thing, by the way, because if you actually let them stay together, the whole thing will fall apart. And there are so many reasons you can actually say that the Islamic ideology is actually not increasing right now. So people might think it's on the rise because of mass migration to the West. Actually, in reality, what we have is that these are the same people who would have been in their own country. It's not like they're increasing. The birth rate would have been the same thing. I mean, actually, the birth rate could be a little bit higher now because in the West, you can have babies easier, right? Better healthcare. Having said that, the Islamic ideology is being exposed, and this is just the beginning of the fight back because of the internet, because of AI. Don't forget AI, that a lot of people are skeptical, and you have to be careful about the future of AI, actually is going to be one of the tools that will bring down the Islamic ideology. The whole thing has been gone unchallenged for hundreds of years because it was stuck mostly in one part of the world that we were not really connected to until the mid and late 20th century. And now, because of obviously mass migration to the West, now people are being exposed to it. And some people like it. You know, the liberal, outward-looking people saying, oh, this is nice. But obviously, the other people, more conservative, inward-looking people are saying, whoa, what's going on? But this is just the beginning. Because if you think that there's going to be some sort of unifying takeover of Birmingham or New Jersey, for example, not necessarily, because the moment those places become tribes, Islamic tribes, that's when you're going to see the infighting among themselves, because you have different mentalities and a lot of egos. So there's never going to be any sort of unifying Islamic empire, because even the one that went for a while fell apart. I mean, thanks to Vatican, but you know. Now, if I had $1 for every time someone blamed the Jews for something, I would be richer than Elon. Yeah. I guess we will be expecting a bunch of Palestinian flags flying in our streets with a bunch of Karens crying about the pork mass. Yeah, so this is the thing. So it's now Wednesday, the 19th of March. Expected now because of the ground invasion by the IDF. What you're going to see is this Saturday and the next few days, and actually today we already had some protests in New York City, Trump Tower, but you're going to see major marches, but mostly in the West, not in the Middle East, in the West, because they're allowed to actually protest, which is kind of ironic, taking advantage of the liberal democracies. He who eats 7 dates in the morning, no poison magic will harm him on that day, said the prophet who died of poisoning. Ouch. They blame the Jews because the Jews are the chosen people, always was, always will be. We stay strong. Daily reminder, a Muslim in Sudan was forced to marry a goat he was caught playing with. The thing is, it's true story. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We have to come back because there's a massive uprising right now as we speak in Turkey, which we have to report. So we're going to get all the information for you guys in the next few minutes and come to you guys soon. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.